Rahul here, Punch Out Boxing. Delighted to be here with Bobby Mills of Afui Gym. I should know you better because I work across the road from you at the town hall. So great to see Brixton rocking it. Um, and I know you did effectively launch my colleague Aisha's career into the media world. She's like doing great stuff. But yeah, she started training with you. She still goes and trains with you.
She loves it, loves it. Comes in the gym at least once a week, and it's just great to see her, going to the media side of things because she was looking to do it for a while, and just sort of gave her that little push, I guess, and said, look, you're good at what you do, you understand boxing, and sometimes people need that encouragement. So I'm glad to see her doing so well.
Yeah, fantastic. So she's a welcome addition to our world. Yeah. So talking of your world though, yeah, Isaac, what a fight! European title on home turf for once, and this could be touching distance of that dream world title shot.
Yeah, tough fight. We had other options on the table, but to be honest, we think this is the toughest. But the reason behind it was we want to progress him with his career. Obviously, recently won the British and Commonwealth titles. Someone like Isaac has been at domestic level for quite a while. Didn't want to keep him there. The plan was never to defend the title too many times, or if something else came up, he got made mandatory for the European, and we took the opportunity. So now he wants to progress and move, towards his ultimate goal, which is to win a world title.
And CIESLAK's got to be. Beg pardon if I pronounce that wrong. I think a lot of us struggle with Polish, but CIESLAK or CIESLAK, perfect opponent to see where he is because the only defeats have been against genuine world champions. He's on a winning run. He's 35, but I think for a cruiserweight, that's still probably the peak years. So yeah, if Isaac's going to win a world title, he's got to get through a CIESLAK first.
Yeah, and these are the types of fights that test you towards that. These are the sort of tests that you need and that you want when you're climbing the ladder towards a world title. So there's that element to it as well. And like you said, they've both got something in common where CIESLAK and Isaac have only lost two, and they're both to world champions. So really, really good European fringe world level fight. And if Isaac uses his skill and his brain, he will win the fight.
Let's say CIESLAK, he is what he is on the tin. Doesn't bring anything particularly unusual. You've seen everything you need to of him.
Yeah, you're spot on. Like, he's a seasoned pro. What are his strengths? He's durable. He's tough. He believes in himself. He comes to win. Like you said, like on paper, on the eye, he doesn't look like he does anything like specific, like spectacular or anything like that. But he just does everything well and everything solid. And if you have an off night against someone like that, they're going to expose you. So you have to be really switched on. It's an element of skill. Fight at the right times, box at the right times, go in there with a strategy and a game plan and prepared, which he will. And like I said, I think it'll be a really big win for him.
How close to peaking is Isaac? I believe you've been with him since the beginning, so you've sort of seen his development through his career.
Not quite. I was with him since 2020, around lockdown. Funny enough. So I think this is our 7th or 8th fight together. But yeah, we've been together for a while now, so know him really well. In terms of peaking, we're still still a little while out from the fight, so he's obviously getting his rounds in sparring, and he's looking really good. Really happy with where he is at this stage of camp. That's the most important thing. Take it week by week, and come the 15th of June, he'll be peaked and ready.
Do you think he can make a statement and get CIESLAK out of there?
We're not planning for a knockout or a stoppage. If it comes, obviously it comes, but we're planning fully for 12 rounds. If you look at CIESLAK's history, those 2 defeats he did take are to world champions, but also big punching world champions as well. So he's never been stopped and he's been in with them. So look, Isaac will go in there prepared, but knowing what's in front of him and knowing what he needs to do.
Any particular sparring partners you've got in to try and replicate what CIESLAK does, or is it just sort of generic because CIESLAK doesn't do anything unusual?
Yeah, he doesn't do anything unusual, but we've just got a pool of guys that are, durable, trying to mimic him as best as possible, like you said. But yeah, he's got a pool of fighters that I'll be working towards over the next sort of 6-week block.
Yeah, I mean, your gym's becoming it's getting on the map now. A few more of your stable they're coming on. I believe Ollie Edwards is on that massive July the 6th card that the promoters collide. TM14 Promotions, mates of mine, by the way, and Nielsen Boxing. Can you reveal who Ollie's going to fight?
Do you know, we're in talks only because it's not over the line yet, but the main thing for me is Ollie Edwards is 10-0, really exciting style, talent, super middleweight. He's ready for a title shot. It wasn't available, unfortunately, but I need a 50-50 fight for him now. I need someone who's going to bring out the best in him. That's step up, and that's what July 6th is all about. So we are looking at those types of opponents, unbeaten guys, or certainly guys with a good, solid record that maybe are, on paper the same as where he's at. Because I'm not, the stage he's at, you don't want to put him in with too many journey. Like, he's past that stage now. I need him tested, and that is what we're working towards with him.
Fantastic. Super middleweight's hot division. A lot of talented youngsters coming up, so no shortage of fights for him for the coming year.
Yeah, that's it. Super middleweight, it's always been a stacked division, certainly domestically. We see an opportunity there for him, but he's got to get through these types of fights if he's going to sort of break through, and we believe he will.
And young Louis Muldowney, was surprised to see that he's come down to South London to join you. But again, it's a sign that your gym's now getting known as somewhere that can bring these young talents on.
Yeah, 4-0 now, just boxed on the weekend, 19 years old, and really excited about Louis. He's a fast learner, he's obviously very young, good amateur career, and he's just got a lot about him. Very nice kid as well. And I think obviously with being so young, we'll take our time a little bit more with Louis. But he's going to be another one, welterweight, strong kid. Mohammed Samir's another one, who's a few years older, who's 6-0, and he's going to be boxing sort of mid to late July. Fast hands, big puncher. So the gym's thriving at the moment. We've got our pros. We've got Vivian Parsons, our standout amateur. She just boxed a national final for the third year in a row. She's now going on to GB. So she'll be the next superstar, that one.
Well, fantastic. Brixton, of course, has a great tradition for producing talent down there. So continuing in that. Just on this card, what do you make of the main event? Of course, potential for Isaac to fight that title in the future.
I think it's a great, great main event. Obviously they've got history there. It's interesting because you've got CBS who's coming into the fight with confidence as champion and momentum, having improved as well over the last few years against a big puncher who's beaten before but hasn't quite had those same tests. So I can't call it. I'm just going to sit back and enjoy it. And great main event.
Yeah, it's, and you'll have no problem about putting Isaac in with either of them.
No, look, that's if he wants to win world titles, he's got to go in with whoever the champion is. So, like I said, CIESLAK sets him up really, really well for that, and then we'll see what happens with the winner. But Skylark, big domestic fights. We all like domestic fights for world titles, So let's see what the future brings.
Do you keep your eye on the cruiser scene domestically and internationally? So Ramirez, who's a former super middleweight, pick up one of the belts. Of course, Jai Alphataya, a lot of people in the game say he's the danger man in the division. He's got another go on Bridis in Riyadh in a couple of weeks. Do you think it's fair to say Alphataya is the number one in the division?
100%, yeah. He's the man to beat right now. And really skillful for a cruiserweight, dynamic, southpaw, confidence through the roof. So I'm looking forward to his rematch. He's boxing Bradis, isn't he, in the rematch? And I think that will sort of show us where he is in terms of improvement compared to his last performance against him. But yeah, he's the man of the division at the moment, isn't he?
And what about Ramirez, former super middleweight?
Yeah, interesting one. Obviously, he was a big super middleweight, wasn't he, Ramirez? So I can see why he's moved up. But what will be interesting to see with him is how long could he hold on to the title?
All right. Now, got to ask you about the historic fight coming up. Usyk against Fury, the world heavyweight championship, undisputed. Of course, a former cruiserweight against a guy that's arguably the epitome of the modern super heavyweight because he's nearly like 7 foot tall. Yeah, some fighters in the industry, they say the age of the super heavyweights is coming to an end. That the smaller heavyweights are once again gonna take over. What's your views on that?
What a fight. Me personally, I feel like the best version of Tyson Fury comes in. I just think the size, as well as the talent and the ability, especially if his mindset is right for this fight, which it will be because he knows what's in front of him. I favour Tyson Fury in that fight, but he's got to negate the stuff that Usyk does. The way he fights in the pocket, He's obviously going to be looking to get sort of mid to close range and I think keep in the pocket. So if Fury can negate that, which I think he knows how to, and box his fight his fight, I think he wins.
Interesting. Just one other thing, that what Richard said there about wear and tear. You are a coach. You know what the nature of this game's like. Um, is it possible to get the best version of Fury or Usyk for that matter? They're 36, 37, miles on the clock, hellacious punishment, especially the Wilder trilogy. I mean, what percentage of Fury can we get at this point?
Yeah, I think people saying he's over there. I don't agree. I think Fury's had a bit of a stop-start career in recent time. Maybe that's done him good. So I think in terms of that, they're probably in the same sort of bracket because Usyk's had really tough fights as well. Obviously, with his move up to heavyweight, it hasn't been easy for him either. He's won against AJ. He won very well, but he took a lot of facial damage in that fight. If you look at that, so they've both been in the game a long time. Both had their fair share of wear and tear. So in that sense, I'd rate them pretty evenly.
All right, Bobby. Fascinating stuff. I love listening to coaches' views. Yeah, because what do us fans know? We need you guys to tell us. So, Bobby, yeah, absolute pleasure. And maybe I'll come down to across the road to Brixton one day.
Come down on your lunch break. You're welcome.
I will definitely try and do that one day. Bobby, thanks for your time, and we'll see you soon.